everybody. Well, this is kind of a shout out to Ellen Casey, who is a new member of my YouTube family, and she asked me how much my dolls sell for. Well, since I just now got started making dolls and for sale, I thought I would discuss why reborn dolls are so expensive. They're an investment. Okay, now according to, and there's several things that you got to factor in when you're considering how much you're going to make a doll cost. How experienced you are as a reborner is the number one thing for me. I'm just starting out. I've only made one doll last year for a friend for Christmas, and I'm getting ready to make another doll for me. And so the doll that is going to be sold will be my third doll. So I'm not real experienced doing this yet. I haven't learned how to root hair yet, and unless I'm doing a dragon style baby, like, well, the one I did for Kaylee was a shapeshifter doll that it's had two forms. The doll was based on a role-playing character in a campaign of that called The Worlds of Charade, that was based off of some unpublished novels I had written. And we had me and my friends had a campaign going on these worlds. Well, in Dragon's Lair, which was the first world of charade that was discovered by humans, which was populated with, among other things, several sentient animals who were rulers of the planet, along with elves and sprites and dwarves and, you know, your regular fantasy realm beings. So when the humans came, they entered into a compact with the dragons, and there was a particular story in the novel about one of the humans and the dragons, in which there was a baby born that was it didn't have proper wings. It just had stumps. And so the king of the dragons was of a mind to have the baby put down, and the mother, the queen, one of the queen dragons, had said that she didn't want that to happen. And she was just grieving and worrying about it when Megan came along, and Megan had been trained as a veterinary, and she specialized in prosthetics for animals. So she made for the baby a set of wings that attached to his stumps, and as he grew older, she made more. Well, when a epidemic came through the planet that took out both dragons and humans, because it was one of those weird zootropic things, she not only went about coming up with a vaccine and treatments for it, then for both the humans and the dragons, she treated them until she herself succumbed to the disease, and when she died, she was sainted by the people on Dragon's Lair, and the goddess Sheree, who had created this universe was so impressed that on another planet of hers, she made a shape-shifting being that was, one form was human and the other form was dragon. So this was what I made Kaylee's Christmas doll, was a dragon skin baby with dragon eyes. And it, just its normal human form, but it had the skin tones of the dragon. It had its freckles were like little tiny scales. And I painted its hair on, and the hair was basically just scaled, dragon scaled, multicolored dragon scales of all different metallic colors. And the reason I'm mentioning the first doll that I made is to tell you why dolls are so expensive. Just the kit, the body, the filling, the glass beads, the paints that I used, and the other supplies that went into making this doll, excuse me, cost me like $150 before I did anything. And Kaylee got a full box opening on top of that. And now this is just my cost now, mind you. So by the time I had made the doll, reborned it and put it together, and gave it its going home outfits and a few more changes, some of which I made and some of which I bought, packed it up and shipped it off, I had spent every bit of $250. So that's my starting price on a doll, because I'm not experienced really as a reborn artist yet. I'm getting there. But now that's just a basic generic kit, not a fancy one, by one of the one of the more expensive reborn artists. Excuse me while I grab my coffee cup. My throat is rather dry. So, anyway, when you're looking at making a doll to sell, you've got to take into consideration the cost of the supplies. For instance, the most expensive thing that I spent money on for making the doll was the glass weighting beads. After the cost of the kit, that was the most expensive thing. And that was like, for a 10-pound container of glass beads, which actually will make a couple of dolls, was $38. And I bought 2 of them. So I spent $70 on the glass beads because I knew I was going to be making dolls for a while. So that's a $70 investment right there, just on the glass beads that weight the doll. And they're a very fine sand-like glass bead. Then the next thing, the kit and the body together was about $45, $50 I think, all told, for both the kit and the body. And then I got the eyes, and for the eyes I actually gave Kaylee a choice, because I bought several different things. I bought 2 different sizes of the dragon eyes, because the first size that I bought actually was too big, so I had to order a size smaller. So she had the choice of dragon eyes, and then she also could have chosen human eyes, because I got a thing of a whole bunch of different regular human type eyes. And my first doll, they were the acrylic plastic eyes. But as I get more experienced and everything, I'm going to invest in the eyes, the glass eyes that come from Germany, and those are more expensive. So, but for the same price that I actually spent for several things of the acrylic eyes, then for one pair of the German glass eyes was for what it would cost for one pair of those eyes, I spent on the other. So I've got, eyes to make several dolls now of either type for a doll that has open eyes, like Robert Steffen has. The doll that I'm making to sell actually has closed eyes, so I don't have to worry about the eyes for it. Then you have your eyelash strips. You have magnets for to place in the chin for a magnetic pacifier, or if you want to have like put magnetic hair bows to put up magnets in the head. I still haven't quite figured out the logistics of having both the magnets in the top of the head and the magnet for the pacifier, because when I tried for Kaylee's doll to do that, I ended up with the magnets were so strong that instead of when I glued them in, before they set, they all clumped together. So that was one of my little mistakes that I made. So she ended up with just a magnet for the pacifier on her doll. But then, okay, after that, what else should I get? Then you get zip ties. And if your body doesn't come with the zip ties, then you need to order zip ties. Need to get some zip ties, and that's going to cost you another $10 to get the proper length of them. Okay, then what's the next thing? Then, of course, there was the paints, and I had paint brushes here, and so that was cool. And the sponges. Now, the sponges was just $1. I picked it up at the cosmetic sponges. You get those at the where you get your makeup at. So that was just a little $1. But the paint itself, and I was using acrylic paints, regular acrylic paints. So that's $20 for the set of paints to work with. Then there's like another $16 or so went into the airbrush medium, which I used to reduce the paint down to get it thin enough. So now then you're going to have to add on glass and tile medium, varnish, those kind of things. That's going to add on, more expense. So this is why a reborn doll can start and the low end starts at $250. They can go up to $10,000 or more, depending on who's made them, what sculpt it is, and how experienced they are, and how much time it takes for them to do the doll. Now, it's going to take probably a couple weeks worth of painting and everything just to get the doll exactly right for Mark and Katie, who are buying the doll. So, I'm looking at, by the time I add in my time and everything, they're going to be getting quite a lot for a doll that has been reborn by me and signed on its butt. They will get a signed doll. And this is what I did with Kaylee. I gave her a doll that not only was reborn by me, it was signed by me. Like I sign my paintings that I do, which I'm getting ready to get started with a new painting today. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And Mr. Robert Stephan and Miss Alana Michelle, which are my first two babies in my reborn collection, are factory-made babies. And so they didn't cost as much, not as much went into them. I actually, Robert Stephan got a makeover for his birthday. And so I took him apart, re-weighted him, put new stuffing in him, and gave him a touch-up on his makeup so that his skin coloring was closer to what mine was like when I was younger. So he has a little bit more of the Choctaw skin coloring. And so the next doll that I'm making for myself is after my nephew, who is half Choctaw and half Chinese. So he's going to have Asian skin coloring, and the eyes are a little bit more Asian looking than Robert Stephan's. And so that's going to be a challenge. I'm learning different types of skin tones right now. And the doll that I'm going to be making will have, again, the dragon skin tones. So I'm probably going to specialize in exotic skin tones. I'm going to do fantasy role-play characters in my dolls. Unless I get, like, you know, a special request for a regular type skin tone. I have a lot of fun doing the exotic skin tones. So, anyway, if you listened this far, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really love all of you, and I really appreciate it. And in the description below, you will find my new post office box address so that you can mail me if you want to discuss a doll that you'd like me to do, or you want to do Happy Mail, or just get to know me better. And my email is in the description below, norwoodpatricia48 @gmail.com, and my Patreon page. And as soon as I've got my PayPal account set up right so that I can do the tiers on Patreon, you'll be able to access things that I'm doing there. And so, love y'all much, and I will talk at you later. Bye-bye.